Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome back to Adventures in Amalur with Lokira. Last time, I believe we were working with the Scholia Arcana. Let's see. Savant Athan Engar has tasked me with exploring the ruin of Aod to determine why the magical defenses have recently been breached. He believes it has something to do with the events surrounding my trial of initiation. That's what we're doing now.
There you are. I am certain that what happened to the mages that died here, and Nuala and Kadok, was not your doing. This has not been the only incident of spellcraft gone awry. Magic itself is changing. It is our responsibility as members of the Scholia Arcana to ascertain why. Somewhat self-destructive cultists who worship the arcane aspects of fire. They frequent places they believe blessed by Vrakor, and do not welcome trespassers. Good fortune.
You too. Actually, I think we're working on a few things. In Issa first, before we go do the Scholia Arcana quest.
I await news from the Hall of Appointments, but surely you aren't their messenger. The ruler of the House of Ballad serves no one.
And what order should you
Order?
enter?
I care nothing for order. It is the others who insist on such foolishness and frippery. However, if you are the one who determines such things, may I ask that you place me behind the warlord Wenery? I enjoy watching her backside travel.
And how do you really
It
feel?
would be best if Garnet trails far behind Great Huntress Hartwin. Once at each other's throats, those two are difficult to tear apart. Remember? Behind Lady Whinery.
Thank you.
Always a pleasure. I am at your service, fleshy master.
I'm actually gonna make that my active quest so I don't have to try and remember later. It needs to go where?
I am the great huntress Hartwin, and you are not allowed on the trellis. What brings you here, beautiful?
And what order should you
How
enter?
quaint. Well, I am the most respected and most deserved to lead. Besides, I detest that harlot, Warlord Winry. So it is only right I meet the High King before her.
And how do you really
Not only
feel?
must I be in front of Warlord Winry, but I must also lead Lord Setter, the old lecher. Serves him right for all his past leering.
Thank you. So, Hartwin in front.
The pleasure was all
Thank you for
mine,
talking.
child of the dust. Goodbye.
What's this then?
This is not right. Not right at all. You feel it, don't you? Anyone intimate with the ways of magic can detect the waning current. You're like me, your grace. You see the end. Is this how it happened at the House of Ballad? Did Hallam foresee this slow decay? I had a feeling he did. As it is in every season, this family of Summer Fae has communed at the feet of its greatest leader, the High King Tatarian. The Western Fae lands are our domain. Every season, one is chosen to attend the font's magical flow, to act as ambassador. I'm the only Fae to have held the position more than once. I feel the strength of the currents. They wash through me. They rise up and overflow. However, their power weakens. Their cool waters recede. It has been located here for many of your generations, what we call seasons. Only in recent times has it been shaped to resemble one of your mortal cities. The summer court
Then do
resides
it.
on the highest terrace, far
Play,
above the
play,
rest
play.
of us, as it should be. While wise and powerful, he's also brash and narrow. A sliver of light in a world so dark that most of us are blind. His inaction is no match for mortal ambition. It is the source of summer court magic and touches our realm of origin, the land of Ashara. Without its constant flow, our kind would dry up like leaves and vanish. Most mortals know nothing of what lies beyond the veil. The magical realm of Ashara. It is a mystery even to us, as we departed its shores many seasons ago.
The end
the
of
gardens
what?
of Issa? Of the summer court? Why, this crystal war may be the end of all Fae. I know because I am Nomeron, master of the font, the wellspring of all summer court magic. I've seen it flow at its highest, but I've never seen it so dry. Something must be done before all this city withers into nothingness.
Tell me about the
The
font.
font is the source of all summer court magic. It has flowed through this mountainside since our kind sprang up from the dirt. That flow has waned in recent days. It's unnatural, even as the magic in the world grows. The Fae, it seems, will wither.
I'll
The
help you.
font's flow is controlled from the Lyceum Grove down below. We must open the root system and allow more water through. However, the magic that regulates this flow can only be used by some. It's protected by a ward known as the Waterlock. It can only be opened by one who carries drops from each of the 5 sacred pools surrounding Issa. Collect these drops, and you can break the Waterlock. The sacred pools are the collection points for the font's yield. Together, they cradle the gardens of Issa. Keep it safe, powerful and hidden. You will find 2 of the pools below in the gardens themselves. One near the Ballad Sanctuary, and one in the Court of Summer itself. Goodbye.
The Maid, convinced of Olane's threat, agreed to free the town. The people offered thanks and praise, and quietly she went her ways. Once the ill were brought to health, and the villain had fallen by, good Olane returned to mortal ground, and gifted them with magic found.
Mortal merchants in Isa. I do not approve. If sage crafting intrigues you, visit Orlana. She is always in need of help.
We are quite aware of the conditions on the
Siolana for
outside,
sage crafting.
but it is not our way to interfere. If the great cycle calls it, then there will be
Ah.
Almost level 18. You have to let me know if you're hearing me on the audio too, because I'm responding to you both ways.
If you're looking to drown your worries at the bottom of a bottle, this is the place for you. I'm Gurturn Asker, and this is my establishment. But if you're looking for the Victor's Brew, we don't sell that in Asker's Alley, and you'll have to take your business elsewhere. There's a brewery near Rathia that makes it. Very small, very secretive. But they've found their niche, that's for certain. Cheap and powerful. It's not a drink for the man who appreciates craftsmanship, tradition. It just helps the soldiers forget all they've been through.
And who
I
are
wouldn't
you?
say I ran from the war. I just don't need to know every little thing that's going on. There are other ways to help. Getting folks drunk is one of them.
Just a little
I know
bit.
better than to criticize the Fae. They call us children of dust. We treat them like people, but they're like no people I've ever met. This city has been here for thousands of years. Longer than that, even. It will be here long after we're gone. The ambassadors requested that facilities be created where flesh and blood folks could put their feet up. Not that the Fae know what that means. So the All-Main approached my family about starting a tavern. The alley does well, but I'm no businessman.
And why don't you sell Victor's
It's the
Brew?
most popular drink in Amalur. At least it is now. My Asker's Ale used to be the preferred beverage, but every day brings more cancelled orders. My brother and I are working on a new drink, but it requires something special. Wait a minute. Maybe you could help. If you do, I could see to it that the merchants in Isa treat you well.
I'm
So
listening.
here's what we're thinking. Bring back our grandmother's favorite Asker's Draft, a classic. The recipe calls for bristletongue seeds, and if you're talking rare ingredients, bristletongue tops the list. It's worthless for potions, but tastes fabulous. The problem is that the Fae control the use of bristletongue, as it's a product of the Font's waters. Talk to Jackson, their apothecary. He can probably get it for us.
Family
It's been in our
recipe?
family for 4 generations, since the days of Almir the Bold. Our grandmother entrusted us with the formula, and we made a fortune from it. But I'm afraid we've been replaced by a new drink. Almir the Bold was the first king of the Almain. He brought us out of lawlessness and misery. We've always wanted to name a drink after him.
And where can I find this
He spends his
Jacobson?
time in the Lyceum Grove in the understyle section of town. He's an odd duck, always crafting new tonics. Some advice? Don't drink any. Good
I
luck.
wonder if he can train me in that alchemy.
Well, another alpha. We need more of them around here.
I don't do chat.
Hello, Warlord Winnery.
The House of Ballads must have taught you courtly manners, but not enough to keep you from interrupting. What is it, Your Grace?
That is no way to talk to your king. Excuse you. In what order should you enter? And pray I'm
I
feeling
am
generous.
not petty, but I have limits, as do we all. I know I should lead the formation because of my position, but other, more tender individuals will insist otherwise. Whatever you do, do not make me walk behind the High Fae Mage Goronet. How shall I put this? He has an odor.
Can you tell me a little bit more about
There
yourself?
is no more important nature than that which lusts for battle. Creation and destruction are sisters in the great cycle, both necessary to maintain the balance. I am the flame that blackens the dirt, the smoke that blocks the sun. My time in the Withering War was my finest hour, but those seasons are long past now.
Withering
The
War?
Summer Court would not stand for the mortal ambitions of Own, King of the Winter Court. So we burned him, as we burn a dying forest in need of mercy.
Okay then.
We adore him in every guise. Yet he has a wistfulness that I do not understand. There is no fire in him, only a peaceful pool that goes deeper than any of us realize. You fell persons are ignorant, aren't you? The Great Cycle is what gives balance between the eternal conflict of growth and decay. When every Fae passes, he is reborn. As long as the Great Cycle persists, this world we share may continue to refine itself on a path to perfection. My place is prowling the Fae lands in search of a worthy challenge. Not here, petitioning fools about issues that do not concern me.
Not fair.
Welcome to the alley. Hey there, pretty. This is Aska's Alley, best tavern in Issa. Only tavern in Issa, of course, but you didn't know that, did you? If you're new in the city, I can help. I know everything. About the Understyle, the Embassy, the Scholia Arcana, you name it. I know it all.
Can you tell me more about yourself? Pretty?
The Oscars took me in when my pa was killed in the war. That's been nearly 10 years. Now this is my home, pretty. It's where you'll find me every day and every night.
Can you tell me more about Asker's
We
Alley?
provide your basic public service. Ale. And if drinking isn't your thing, then you can always stop by the Hexes game and back.
Hex's
So
game?
you want to brush up on your bad luck, do you? That game will do it for you, all right. Speak with Kali in the back.
The Understyle?
It's the Fey neighborhood on the other side of the city. There you'll find the Hall of Appointments and the Lyceum Grove. They don't mind if you go exploring in the Understyle, but I wouldn't suggest it unless you know your way around. The Fey can be easily offended.
Can you tell me some more about the Scholia Arcana?
Oh, that's a sinister spot, isn't it? Even the Fey take a few extra steps to walk clear of there. Don't trust anyone in robes.
Embassy
Oh,
Hall?
if I had the finery and manners, you wouldn't find me anywhere but the Embassy Hall. I'd even buy a title. But it's a dreadful place these days, what with the war. The Darkelfar and Varani are practically at arms over their differences, and everyone speaks in a whisper. I prefer the United Merchants delegation. Those are my people. Like I said, it's all magic to me. If the Fae said this city got its power from glowing purple antelopes, I'd probably believe them. I'm just a hostess. Olana and her squire Brio, they have the good fortune to meet with all the nobles who visit the High King. A life of lords and ladies. Oh, that's the life for me.
The Merchants
When
delegation?
Issa first opened, the Alfar approached the humans about creating a shared shop, so people here could get their sundries. All of this was lost on the Fae, of course. Most of the United Merchants are good people, like Wystron and Gwenna. But that blacksmith's apprentice, Britt Codgan, he's a leech. Let me just say that I adore Olana. She's one of the few Fae that I've met face to face, and she couldn't be more pleasant. Such a pretty one. Is that the one at the far end of the Understyle? Yeah, I think that's the place. Never been there, but folks say that's where the Fae make the waterfalls. You see, the city gets its magic from the water. They call it the fountain. Or is it the wellspring? I never remember. I'm sure it's just a story anyway.
Later, pretty.
Oh, sweet ale.
How did I end up
Sweet
behind you?
ale.
I don't do chat.
Good day.
Please, no violence in Issa.
So, you're done.
A right group of snakes, eh? So, any insight into how I should present them so as not to tug their writhing tails?
Oh, I know the order. What a lovely group of people you
It's
have.
good that someone does. Go on. Let's line up these backstabbing serpents.
I know, I think yes. The not very nice Great Huntress Heartwind needs to go in front.
Yes, yes.
Next, the Warlord Winnery, so that the Viscount Sutter can look at her butt.
Of course. And then?
Well, I already said this. Viscount Sutter the Allseer wants to look at Warlord Winnery's
All
butt.
right. Next.
Well, Grand Mage Gornet apparently smells and no one wants to walk behind.
Yes, yes. Excellent.
How did I do?
That's a perfect order for these fools. Saves me the trouble of talking to them. Thank you.
No problem. Oh, thank you for all that gold, too.
Goodbye,
Later.
Your Grace.
Alright, let's finish this. Since we're almost done. Oh, I'm almost here, so... Right way.
Yes, mortal?
Was it 2 pinches or 4?
Hello. Your name sounds an awful lot like a word I should not say out loud.
Welcome to the Lyceum Grove, where the majesty of the font is glorified and regulated. I am Jackson, apprentice to the font master and steward of tinctures and elixirs.
Your name is Jackson? I really thought it was Jackasson. But okay. Tell me more about yourself,
I
Jackson.
am the steward of tinctures and elixirs. A meaningless title, one I gave myself, actually. But my work is vital, as is my role, to test the font's magic.
Can you tell me a little about this place
This
that I'm
is
in?
where we watch over the font, the source of magic in the gardens of Issa. It is a fountainhead that is nourished for as long as this world has been. The font's flow can be measured, directed, and even regulated, depending on the needs of our people. Font Master Nomoran attends to these duties.
Actually, he delegates them
He
to
has
other
the
people.
role of monitoring the font's flow throughout the city and the Feylands. His telling is not to be envied, as it is one of our most important. I enjoy the mortal world immensely. It adds such texture and color to our experience. Now and then you might find me in your dustling district, taking in the bustle.
Can you say that again? I really liked how you said that.
Font Master Nomoran insists that everything flows as it should, yet I have seen his worry. and I feel the magic weakening. Strange forces are at work. It may be difficult to believe, but the city was once inhabited only by Fae. The understyle consisted of everything growing beneath the font. Now this important section of the Issa is but a dark corner, all but forgotten. Goodbye. Welcome to the Lyceum Grove, where the majesty of the font is glorified and regulated. I am Jackson, apprentice to the Fontmaster and steward of tinctures and elixirs.
I am King Sagrell Lokira of the House of Ballads. I am looking for Bristletongue.
Bristletongue? My, that would be something. A mockingbird with the font's only yield. Of course I will tell you where it is. What would be the fun in refusing? But before I do that, you need to offer me something. Isn't that how you mortals act? One deed for another? As steward of tinctures and elixirs, I often dabble in alchemy, especially with the water from the font. And I need you to drink this potion.
Okay.
Good. I will know what this does to the mortal constitution. Go on, big gulps now. None of that sipping. Do come see me again.
What did I just get myself into? A splitting headache. As the darkness fades from your vision, you recall Jackson's last words. He mentioned something about the bristletongue growing in a garden high on the font. Unfortunately, your memory of instructions blur as your head begins to pound. Wait, where am I? Okay then. What's up, Romy?
Then we must do what needs to be done.
Perhaps we must finally swallow our dignity and draw our swords. Quiet. We must not discuss this further in the open.
Ruin everything.
You must be the special messenger Tatarian's expecting. Trust me, the rest of us have heard plenty about it. Erwin can't keep his big mouth shut. I am Methani Keen, Dokulfar ambassador to the Summer Court Fae. I'm sorry. This is a difficult position sometimes.
Can you tell me about High King
I've
Tarion?
met with him several times. I'll admit, he radiates a certain presence, but I'm less interested in charisma than I am in leadership. Issa is fine, and the Fae are tolerable, but many believe they should do more to support the war effort. It's unjust to live in peace while the rest of the world burns. Not everyone is welcome up there. It's where the court of summoned nobles spend their time reminding themselves of past glories. I'd avoid it. This is where the Fae hide us to keep us out of sight. I used to take offense, but I got over it. I wouldn't want to live near them. Strange things, the Fae. They are a council of Fae nobles that advise the High King in matters of politics. Not that they even understand what that means. To them, politics is just a game. Well, more of a game than usual. You understand my meaning.
Why is it difficult?
Something is about to happen, and it must be stopped. But that is all I can say. This is neither the time nor the place. If you're interested in hearing my story, meet me in the worship circle after dark, near the gates. I will wait for you there.
Can't you just tell me what's
This
happening?
is not the place. I will meet you in the time and place I specified. Goodbye.
See ya.
I have titles, but for a price. Aren't you bold? This is the Varani wing of the embassy, and few venture here without being summoned. I'm Ambassador Advar, he who bloodies the waters.
Do I want a title? I mean, I'm already King Sagrell. Can you tell me about Varani and
The High
Issa?
King knows why we are here, yet he does nothing. Our people die at the hands of the Tuatha, Fae. But the Fae themselves show no remorse. Titarian and the Summer Court will know our anger, and they will aid us, or perish.
And tell me more about
I've
yourself.
served my people for 40 years, in war and in peace. Now I serve here, in the gardens. It is here where the important battles are fought. The Battle of Wills. I enjoy being this close to those I'm competing against. That's what this is, isn't it? A conflict in which we struggle to gain the ear of the Fae. As always, the Varani will triumph. I have lived in less hospitable places. The Fae may not understand what it means to be mortal, but they certainly have an eye for beauty. Stay out of my way.
Yeah. Stay out of mine. I don't see what this title thing is.
How may the Varani be of assistance to you this day? Our time is not to be wasted.
Can I
The
buy a
Varani
title?
allow the purchase of several titles for use in the gardens of Issa. They are rare and should be worn with great respect.
Blood Doge, Guardian of Arms, Death's Cryptic Hand. Will this overrule my being a king, though?
No
Yeah,
skin
I'm
from my
interested.
nose. Your business is your own, as is mine. Stay out of my
I kind of
way.
like being known as a king.
Hello, I am Ambassador Calder of the Almain. We may be new to the region, but we are just as involved in matters of the Fae and the war.
Wait, do all of you sell titles?
It is simply an honor to be here. We Almain are doing our part for the war effort, but there are plenty of other relationships to forge far from the battlefields. Like most of my kin, I have humble roots. My parents were both trappers on the Snaketail River, feeding much of Whitestone Village back before it fell on hard times. Despite my position as lead ambassador to the Summer Court, I am an outsider. There is bad blood between some of the races. As a result, I try to steer my own course. I do not wish to speak ill of other diplomats, but Ambassadors Keen and Brenner of the Alphard and Varani are plotting against each other, as if we need more deception.
Ooh, tell me more.
The
What
Almain are
titles do
new
you
to
sell?
diplomacy, but there are still several powerful titles available for purchase.
Chief Protector, Warden of Light, High King's Guide. Thank you.
It's
Not
your money,
interested
friend.
right now.
Spend it wisely, and as you choose. See you later, friend.
I like you a lot better than the other guy. This is the entrance. And which ambassador do we have here? Ambassador Mandolf?
Let me guess. You're here to buy a title. No? A bribe, is that what you want? Listen to me. I'm no one's plaything. I apologize. Forgive me. Sometimes the work in this place is too much. I thought Issa would be different, but it's just another nest of snakes. I don't believe the Fae see the Losselfar and Dokulfar as separate groups. They tend to view the world in strict generalities, along bloodlines and origins. Sometimes working alongside the Dokulfar is difficult, but we have an arrangement. They adhere to their goals and methods, and we adhere to ours.
And tell me about
You
yourself.
think I want to be here, stuck in this giant vegetable? Never. My mother volunteered me for this position, and I had no choice. I have a young
Same
soldier
with
back
your name,
home
I'm
who
guessing.
waits for me. But can I be with him before he sails? No. I have to administer to the Fae.
Boo hoo hoo.
The war is the only reason I'm not still resisting my appointment. Something must be done. You know it as well as I do. The Fae must help. Who knows our enemy better? Do yourself this one favor and leave this place as quickly as you came. It's a den of deceit and malice. You don't want friends like these.
And what
I
titles do you
understand.
sell?
Well, I can offer you the traditional Alpha titles that are available at the embassy.
Ooh, I like that one. Dark Hunter, Muse of Fate, Master Mystic. Not interested right now, but
That's
I really
fine.
do like
If you change your mind, please do come back. Bye then.
Bye. Are you the ambassador to the gnomes, Templar
I
Joriel?
apologize, but one of my station has many obligations to attend to. Please, excuse me.
It's fine. I'm a king and I didn't want to talk to you anyways. Ambassador Ecob?
Welcome to the embassy, young one. I am Scholar Icob of the Domus Politica. What brings you to my chamber? We have a unique interest in the Fae, but I cannot explain further. I will say this. Their supposed immortality poses a problem to all mortals. The scholars in Odessa have a keen interest in gaining High King Titarian's trust and cooperation. There's so much to learn from him.
And can you tell me more about yourself?
I've had a long career as an ambassador with the Domus Politica, and as a clerk in the Grand Bursas. But the real work will be done out here, in the wider world. We find them endlessly fascinating, in their ambition, in their magic, and in their disregard for the natural order. We could learn much from such creatures. A flighty creature. During my audience with the king, he forgot my name not once, but twice. It was insulting. But did he notice? Never. There's much to be gained from an alliance with the Summer Court, although I can't say I enjoy working with Fae directly. They're too set in their ways, too rigid. They've already grown and changed. The Tuatha themselves are a new breed of creature. Fascinating amalgam that should be explored. I have no love for the other races here, if that's what you're asking. The Varani are coarse and brutal, while the Alpha are scheming and treacherous. The Allmain, they don't leave much of an impression, if I must be honest. I'll forgive them for their blandness. After all, they are so young.
And what titles do you have?
Of course. It's one simple service I can provide. Perhaps with time and effort, you will one day reside with us here in the embassy.
Tyrannus Bulganus, Warlord Experiority, Morsus Connie Imperius. Not interested.
We all must consider our choices, until we speak again. Goodbye.
I kind of hope we don't speak again. Am I back to...
I have titles, but for a price.
Really? So there's no
How are
dog
you this
color?
evening?
It's just the light is... Alpha is talking for both of us? Wow. Well, that was interesting.
They're sharp, they're gorgeous, they're genuine Fae!
I hope you'll hear about the job. Demand is higher than ever. I'm just too busy to deal with anything else.
Who are you?
Sure. You want to know about me? It's understandable. You want to know who you're going into business with. A wise move. Very wise. My mother was a merchant in Rathir, and I learned the trade at her side. I took the apprenticeship with Gwenna Hand, mostly to get me into Issa. Now I'm on my own. Not just anyone can enter the secret city of the Fae. Oh no. You need an ambassador's endorsement and written authorization, and that's just to be in the lottery. Those in the United Merchants are the lucky ones. Of course, once you see how much gold they actually make in Issa, you will no longer envy them. She's the general merchant in the United Merchants delegation down the road. We've been friends for years now, I believe. A good, honest one, that Gwenna. It's safe, that's for sure. At least for the time being. I don't quite understand the Fae, but they definitely know how to keep a city quiet. What do I know of Fae politics? I didn't even know they had a city until Gwen and I were allowed in. All I know is that there's opportunity here, thanks to the war. I can sum up the war in one word. Folly. It is folly. You will see. Everyone will see. You think I like being confined to this cage? Think again. And after all we've done for them in this war, ungrateful creatures.
And what exactly
Making
are
a
you
fortune
doing?
is what? These visitors come with obscene amounts of gold or treasure. They don't mind parting with it. My plan was brilliant. I created a blade. Fey blade, of course, that makes them authentic. Something all of them had to have. That's all they care about anyway. Fey souvenirs. I called it the Honor brand. Truth be told, it's dull as a stick, but it's easy to make. Listen, if you can find the parts and make them, I'll pay good money.
Okay,
Fabulous.
I guess.
Fabulous! You know a good deal when you see it. There aren't enough people like you in Issa. The Fae don't even use money. Can you imagine? Once you start forging the honor brands, bring them to me and I'll provide you with just compensation. There should be plenty of parts around the city. For creatures with no interest in possessions, they sure know how to collect a fair amount of junk. Bring me something nice.
Okay then. What's that? My active quest? It's not. Well, I guess I've kept him waiting long enough. Have I been in here? Sleeping on the job, are we?
You've been watching me long enough. What is it? Did I wrong you in another life, sister? What you've no doubt heard is correct. I am the Holt Friend. I forged Bolgan's Bane of the Kaled Coast, and many other legendary pieces. My youth was spent as a mercenary, but I have since renounced those ways. Unfortunately, my enemies have long memories, and they aren't as forgiving as I am. Let the Fae try to stop me from carrying arms in the city. Weapons are my trade, my only expertise. It would be like asking a hen to stop laying eggs. Goodbye. Idle hands can lead one into trouble. The best way to keep busy is to learn a useful trade. Goodbye.
Need anything? I've got the best in... If you're looking to buy armor, I'm the only one in Felltown who's authorized to sell it. I'm Gwenna Hand, but my customers call me Gwen. I don't have many weapons to offer, on account of the peace edict, but there's still a selection to pick through. Have at it.
Oh wait, you're the one that Britt Codgan was talking about.
He's a dear friend from years ago. He spent time as my apprentice, but recently set out on his own. He sells authentic ritual Fae blades outside in the square.
Are you sure they're
My
authentic?
twin brother and I were entering the army to fight for the Alpha when I panicked. I couldn't. I'm not a fighter. I came to Issa instead. I'm not proud of running, but I'm much more useful here, as an unofficial ambassador of sorts. Not everyone's a fighter. The Fae didn't have laws, at least not official ones, until we arrived. Now they insist that those of us who live in Issa must keep its peace. No weapons. You must be one of the special exemptions. Let me guess. Ambassador? Scolia Arcana? Could be anything.
King of the House of Ballads?
Have a good day.
You too.
Bandolgum's here. Get over here. We don't abide by strangers in Issa. In this city, everyone is family. If you want to get around the peace edict, you'll have to keep your voice down.
I've already gotten around it. Can't you see the big blades on my back? And
What's
who are
to
you?
tell? Heard the war horn of the recruiters and packed my bags. Slipped out in the dead of the night, I did. And I'm proud of it. What good is fighting when the Tuatha don't die? Besides, I'm a businessman. I got my hand on a pass into Issa, and the rest has been waterfalls and walks by the river.
And what do you think of the peace edict?
Well, technically, we're not supposed to carry or sell weapons in Issa. But I found a few loopholes. As have you. If you're on the market for something deadly, I'm your man. Just don't go blabbing about it to the Fae. They've got buds for brains.
What kind of bud?
It's not exactly the keys of Rathir, or even the hospitalis quarters of Edessa. But Felltown has its charm. If you find out what it is, be sure to come and find me.
Hospitalis quarters?
You know, that neighborhood in the gnome city of Edessa where the poor live. Oh, it's a lot of fun. The dockside district in Rathir is a lovely place. If you're looking to have your throat cut or contract a nasty disease. Remember it next time you travel there. It's better
Sounds
than
like
the
my
cellar
kind of
crawl
place.
space I called home just 2 months ago, believe me. The Fae may be grumpy, but they've got nothing on giant rats.
Farewell.
See ya.
Welcome to the Gardens of Issa.
Hello, child. Hello.
If you seek the court, ascend the palace.
Hello there.
The font must be protected.
Yes, Dustling.
Is waiting for you. Please place the codex before him, and he will continue. You have nothing to fear in His Majesty's presence. He has entered a reverie. It will allow him to unravel the memories and visions contained within the codex. Step forward, and His Majesty will reveal what you wish to know.
I fear nothing.
Grand as this is, I can't help but worry about Hughes.
Hey
I
Garth,
heard
what are you
about
doing here?
Haxi. Impressive work.
Oh, thank you. What else is here? Never mind.
Conceived in chaos, birthed in stolen magic, torn from fate, child of two fathers. Treacheries in treacheries, winter is broken. The puppet king upon his throne, drinking flattery and lies. The power that grows in him is not his own. In the east it did begin, as it will end. From behind the veil she screams. Madness and rage. Madness and rage. We realize this may be confusing for you. Fate, like the Fae, cannot be changed. But the Tuatha are Fae who have become something new. And you are a mortal who is free from Fate's weave. Gadflow claims that the Tuatha are the work of his new god. If the Tuatha are the creations of a god, what does that make you?
What fate do you fear?
The time of the Fae is passing. Our land and our souls are diminishing. Few Fae even realize that the great cycle is shifted. Gadflow's war means the death of us all, Fae and mortal alike. It is written in the weave that we shall all pass from this world together. It is too late for us, but not for you. That is the fate which I look to you to change.
I'm something new altogether.
The power of a god in the brash hands of a mortal. This is why Niralim fears what you might become. This age has seen much change. Change we once thought was impossible. We were wrong.
And what does it mean?
You are intertwined with the power in the East. There can be no doubt of that. Your energy reaches back to Alabastra. We do not know what will happen when you travel there, but we know that the power behind Gadflow is your ultimate goal. His god holds your answer and the fate of this world. I thank you. And perhaps you can help change our world's fate as well. I have seen those who were destined to be heroes, for whom great deeds came naturally. They come, they act, and they pass on as written. You do great things not because you must, but because you choose to. That is by far a far truer greatness.
I have to balance my bad karma somehow. Gadflow will be stopped. And I will take his place. I mean,
admirable. But strength of will cannot see you through this alone. You may be unbound by fate, but you are not free from death. Speak with your allies. Only with their aid can you hope to overcome the forces that stand against you.
Unwritten one. You are truly a blank slate, able to choose your own destiny, as witnessed and proclaimed by the High King Tatarian himself. Plus 3% experience bonus, plus 5% gold. And I'll level up.
Since our kind returned to this world so long ago, it has been my honor to serve as High King of the Summer Court. My rule was always shared with the High King of the Winter Court, until Gadflow arose. Now both of our people are in peril. It is the deepest tragedy that our fall should come from our own. Make no mistake, Gadflow is the harbinger of the end of my kind. In fighting him and his army, you will surely spell our doom. For that tragic truth, we forgive you. The summer and winter courts have always ruled the Feylands in harmony, as the seasons wash across the world. But with Gadflow's new god, something changed. The Winter Fae who followed him called themselves Tuatha, and bore a mark of Prismere upon them. Their power has grown, and yet they are diminished. We are the dreams of warmth and safety, given physical form. But these dreams are endangered by Gadflow and the long winter. Our cold cousins across the sea. Do not think the Winter Court our enemies, for we love them as family, dismal though they may be. Oh, to walk in their starlit gardens once again, or sip their calming stone tea. But the Tuatha have consumed them, and all of their wonders are lost. The weave is a puzzle. Each person is a piece, the edges of their fate locking together with the people around them, all performing their duties to form a grand picture. However, you are no longer a puzzle piece. You are a dollop of paint. You cover and redefine the edges of the puzzle pieces you meet. But more dangerously, you repaint the picture of reality itself. Who can trust that your design is better than the original?
Goodbye.
I couldn't make out half of what the king was saying, but it sounds like you've got your work cut out for you. Good thing you won't be facing it alone. In fact, I think I've got a lead on finding an old friend of ours.
Professor
Old
Hughes?
Fomorous Hughes, of course. If anybody can help, it's bound to be the gnome who brought you back to life. I've been asking around, and I was able to make contact with his superior. He thinks he might be able to help find Hughes.
Who is Hughes' superior?
All gnome scholars have a Templar who sponsors their research, and apparently Hughes' sponsor, Templar Octien, is desperate to find him. Go southwest to the Hollowlands and Detir. Octien will be waiting there to discuss how you might reach Hughes. He once offered me an honorary knighthood after I slayed the Dream Eater of Amora. He was quite gracious when I turned him down. You know the Summer Court in Issa? Well, the Winter Court are their darker siblings. They're not evil, but they're definitely not nice. Beautiful city, isn't it? You can see why they don't like letting most mortals in. Even the best of us make it look like a mess by comparison.
Hello, gorgeous. How are you doing
Who would
today?
have thought you were so interesting? Death seems to have worked out very well for you. Agarth's looking for escape. Neuralim's looking for a savior. And Tatarian is looking for a champion. And somehow, you're giving everyone what they want. I'm impressed.
Aw, thank you. I need all the support I can get to take over the world.
You're right. This won't be easy. The Tuatha have our forces under siege at Mel Senshir, and their power has only grown over the years. You'll need more help than just me and that old Fate Weaver. You'll need an army.
How do we get to Gadflow,
A few years
then?
ago, one warrior could have slipped past unnoticed. But stealth is no longer an option. Not even for me. But there is hope. In the plains of Erethel, there waits a player who has been away from this game for far too long. It is time to contact General Talera. Meet me in the village of Emer, and I will tell you everything. General Talera was in charge of our forces to the east in Cluracan. But a decade ago, Witch Knight Malwyn and his Tuatha army drove her forces back. Since then, she's been looking for some way to take back the land she lost and regain her honor. You might be just the help she needs.
Parting is such sweet sorrow. But we will see each other
Be
again.
on your way.
Yeah, I love you too. You will love me one day. I promise you that. I will make you my queen. Well, I'm going to end this episode here. I will be back in a little bit with Star Stable Wednesdays. Until then, stay high, everybody.